Or in other words, it doesn't blow well enough. The horn I put in here about a year and a half ago doesn't work anymore. It is a sure built from AutoZone. It didn't last. So this thing has one bad OEM horn and one bad sure built AutoZone horn. So we're going to get under there and swap it out with those Harbor Freight ones. I mean, just listen to this patheticness. Horrible. Sounds like a drunk chicken. So to hopefully solve this problem is I got this Harbor Freight 2-piece 12-volt electric horn set. Now, these things only sell for 10 bucks, and with a 20% off coupon, I bought these a while back for $8 or $7.99. So, I mean, it comes with 2 horns, and it comes with actually a relay, and this little relay by itself is normally $5 or $6 if you buy it. That's a standard automotive 12-volt relay. I mean, so, you know, it was hard to pass up. And so this says that it is a high and low tone Snail type chrome horns with mounting tabs and brackets. The reason it's called a Snail type, because if you ever look at a snail, it's shaped very similarly. And at 110 decibels, I think that's adequate. The way most modern horns work is you have your steering wheel, and when you press the button, it goes to a relay, which is to ground and to your positive. It energizes a relay, and it honks both horns. You have a high, low, and a low horn. So most vehicles, not all, but most have 2. And the reason they have 2 really is just for a pleasant sound. In fact, I did some research, and it looks like a lot of horns are in the key of C and the key of E, or it could be the key of G. And the reason why that is so it can sound like a chord. Like on a piano, when you hit those keys, it sounds like a chord. Really, it's just more pleasing to the eye. It's specifically for harmonics. So if you ever wonder why, that's why they have 2 horns. So this horn kit comes obviously with directions, which I really don't need. A couple of brackets, a couple of screws, again this relay, and 2 horns. It looks like this horn is half metal and half plastic, so not too shabby. This, you've got positive and negative, and your mounting bracket. So some horns are actually grounded here. This one seems to be having its own ground. And if you look on here, this one has the H on it. I guess that's the manufacturer. 12-volt H. And this is 12-volt L for low. So your high tone and your low tone, again, to make that chord. We're not going to use this. We might use this and that, and we're definitely not going to use that. Although this has got some good information. If you want to put this on a project and wire it up to a relay system, it gives you the diagram, and there it is there. And there is your Harbor Freight part number 99911. All right, so I believe this is the sure built AutoZone horn. And then if we go to the other side, as you see, that is the original equipment horn. It is a little dirtier, but the sure built one sure does look like the original one. But so we're going to swap these out. Pretty simple. The mounting bracket on this AutoZone one is only 8 millimeters. Now what I'm going to have to do is make a couple of these, I think, for the Harbor Freight units. And this is the original plug here. So, in looking at this, I mean, the Harbor Freight units are plastic here and metal, so I don't think the Harbor Freight units are any worse than these. They actually feel heavier and better made, and this thing was like, I don't know, I think I have the receipt. It's like 20 bucks, and it lasted a year and a half. Okay, quick comparison. Harbor Freight on the right, AutoZone on the left. Should be a very direct, simple swap. So you're going to need to make one of these little doohickeys right here. Just like that. And go ahead and get it prepped. Stick it on there like that. Alright, so there it is. We've got the ground wire installed, the positive there from the Jeep. Basically they install exactly like the factory horns. Always leave them tilted down a little bit so water doesn't get up in there and settle. On this original horn, you'll only see one electrical plug. So you've got one right here, and this one's grounded through the frame or the chassis. So that's why we had to make that little pigtail. So this one doesn't blow or do anything. Okay, the original one has a 13mm nut. All right, here's the original one and compared with the Harbor Freight one. You can see that the original one is a Bosch. It actually says high note. So, and this is the high for the Harbor Freight one. All right, and that's it, folks. Very simple. You've got your original plug that plugs right in. You've got your little makeshift grounding pigtail. That's the high note, and that's the low note. Again, you want to make sure they're angled down a little bit so water doesn't settle up in there. So let's go see how they sound. Oh, yes. So for $8, I mean, you've got nothing to lose. But this job literally took me 15 minutes, so try the Harbor Freight kit. It's only $8.